I'm about to walk you through 5 signs that your roofing company is ready for a virtual assistant. If any of these 3 hit close to home, you already know what you need to do. I'm Chris, and these aren't just generic symptoms. These are specific, named problems that we see in every $5 million roofing company that contacts us. By sign 3 or 4, you won't just be wondering if you have a problem, you'll be wondering, why haven't you fixed it yet? Sign number 1, the revolving door. You've rehired the same admin role 2 or 3 times in the last 2 years. The first person quit after 8 months, you posted the job, you interviewed, you hired, you trained them for 3 months, and they finally understood your CRM. They finally understood your customers and your process, and then Monday morning comes and they quit. They got a better offer, they're moving out of state, they're going back to school, it doesn't matter. But now you're back posting again, you're interviewing again, you're hiring again, you're training again. And here's the part that kills you. Every time someone quit, who filled the gap? You did. You answered customer service calls, you updated the CRM, you followed up on the estimates that your sales team forgot to, you helped schedule appointments, you made some material orders, scheduled some jobs. You know, you're doing all the work and searching for the replacement. You're not running a $5 million roofing company, you're running a permanent hiring and training cycle. This is the revolving door. Entry-level office roles turn over constantly. Nothing stays consistent long enough to scale. You can't build systems on top of people who leave every 6 to 12 months. And whether they're leaving because they're bad or they're leaving because they're good and you promoted them to a new position, you're still in the same spot. So if you've hired the same role twice in 2 years, you don't have a people problem, you have a structural problem. Sign number 2. The leaky pipeline. The leads are dying in your CRM. You spent $5,000 on Google Ads last month and maybe got 15 leads? Your close rate should be 30%. That's 5 jobs and you closed 3. So where do the others go? Well, the first lead, it came in at 10 a.m. and you were on a job site. And you finally saw it at 2 p.m. and you called at 3 p.m. So that's 5 hours later. And they already booked somebody else. Lead 2, they came in on Tuesday. You sent an estimate on Thursday, but you never followed up and they went cold. They're just still sitting in your CRM with the status of pending or open estimate. Lead 3 came in from a referral. It was high intent, great neighborhood. You sent them an estimate and then they said, let me think about it. And you never checked back in. 60 days later, they've already hired your competitor. And this is happening 5, 10, 15 times a month. You're paying for leads and losing them to follow-up failures. You've got response times that are over 5 minutes. Estimates that are going cold because nobody owns the follow-up. Revenue is escaping through the cracks. This is the leaky pipeline, and it's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Sign number 3, the cash flow drag. Your AR aging report shows 60 plus days. You've closed the job, you did the work, the customer is happy, the invoice got sent, and then the money's not coming in. Why? It's because nobody's working the receivables. You expect your sales team to collect, but that's not their job. You've got 40 invoices outstanding. 10 are at 30 days, 15 of them are at 60, 8 are at 90, and 7 of them are past 120. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting on a spreadsheet instead of sitting in your bank account. Do you like being the bank for your customers? It's not that the customers won't pay, it's that nobody's asking them to do so. There's no consistent invoice cadence, there's no follow-up emails, there's no collection calls, there's no payment plan set up, and the money is owed, it's just not coming in. Your current payment plan is, when I need money, I call the people who owe me. That's not working. You don't have a cash flow problem, you have a collections problem. And this is the cash flow drag. Your revenue's there, your profit's there, but it's just trapped in AR because nobody owns the process. Sign number 4, the tech tangle. You're paying for a CRM, Job Nimbus, Proline, Acculinks, Salesforce. Doesn't matter which one, you're paying hundreds or thousands of dollars a month for a software that your team barely uses. Your sales reps update it maybe half the time. Your CRM has duplicate contacts, incomplete records, leads in the wrong pipelines, no tags, no automations, no structures, and you definitely can't pull a report and trust the numbers. How many leads came in this month? You're not sure. What's our close rate? I'd have to manually count. Where are we in the pipeline? Sorry, I don't know, the data is just a little too messy to follow. You bought this tool thinking that it was going to solve your problems, but nobody set it up right, nobody maintained it, nobody enforces it, and most importantly, nobody owned it. You're stuck back in the same problems that you were facing before you got these new tools. Your $1,000 a month CRM, it's really just an expensive contact list or spreadsheet. You have no clarity into your pipelines. You can't forecast accurately, and you really, as a business owner, can't make data-driven decisions. This is the tech tangle. You've got the tools, but you don't have someone who just owns making them work. Sign number 5, you're the backstop. Here's the pattern. Every time something breaks, it lands on you. The office person quits, you fill the gap. The lead doesn't get followed up, you do it. Your CRM is a mess, you clean it up. Invoice doesn't get sent, you send it. Customer has a complaint, you handle it. You're the backstop for every failure in your business. And here's what that means. You can't scale because you're spending 30% of your time fixing problems instead of growing the business. We can't scale a business that we're being reactive instead of proactive. You can't take a vacation because the operation falls apart without you. You can't delegate because nobody else owns the follow through. You've built a $5 million company that completely depends on you to function. That's not a business. That's a high-paying job with a lot of stress. So let me ask, how many of these 5 signs hit home? You said yes to 1 or 2, you maybe have some isolated problems. Maybe you can fix them with better processes or the right hire. But if you said yes to 3, 4, or all of them, you don't have isolated problems, you have systemic issues. You're dealing with the revolving door. You're dealing with the leaky pipeline. You're dealing with the cash flow drag, the tech tangle, and ultimately, you're always the backstop. And these aren't separate problems, they're symptoms of the same root cause. You're trying to scale a $5 million business on entry-level labor in high turnover positions with no consistent ownership of the critical processes. And that structure is never gonna work. So here's what most roofing company owners do. They try to hire their way out. They're gonna hire another admin person, and then that person's quitting in 8 months, hire another, same result. Or they try to work harder. You put in more hours, you fill the gaps, and then you burn out. Neither strategy is going to scale. So here's what actually works. You need to stop trying to scale people and you need to start scaling systems. If you embed a dedicated trained VA who owns the follow through, who doesn't quit, who doesn't turn over and just runs the process consistently, what would that look like for you? Here's what changes when you embed a VA. That revolving door of talent closes. You're not rehiring the same role every year. That VA seat is permanent. They're trained, they're supported, they're backed up. It doesn't quit. The leaky pipeline gets plugged. Every lead gets a response within 60 seconds. Every estimate's followed up. Every cold lead reactivated. Nothing is falling through the cracks. Your cash flow drag is gonna disappear. The AR gets worked weekly or daily. Invoices are going out on time. Collections are happening consistently. Your cash conversion cycle shrinks from 60 days to 20. The tech tangle gets untangled. Your CRM gets cleaned, structured, maintained, enforced. You can pull reports and trust them. You can see your pipeline clearly. You can make decisions based on real data instead of feelings. You stop being the backstop and the VA owns the follow through. You own the growth. Your time goes back to being a CEO instead of being an admin. This is what $5 million companies need to break through to 10 million. Not more people, better systems. If you said yes to 3 or more of those signs, the fix is simpler than you think. Go to smasupport.us, book a 20-minute discovery call. Let's figure out which of these we can help with. We'll diagnose which of the 5 signs is costing you the most revenue right now, and we'll show you exactly what an embedded VA would handle in your business. Specific tasks, specific outcomes, specific ROI. There's no pressure. There's no hard sell. It's really a diagnostic conversation. Most roofing companies will keep doing what they've always done. They're going to keep hiring the same role, keep filling the gaps, and keep being the backstop, but not you. The smart ones realize the problem isn't the people, it's the structure. And at $5 million in revenue, you need systems that don't quit, processes that don't turn over, infrastructure that scales. And that's what an embedded VA gives you. So go to smasupport.us, stop being the backstop for yourself. Thanks for watching.